Would you mind saying your full name and title?
My name is Yolanda Huang. I'm an attorney. I'm a civil rights attorney practicing in Oakland.
Tell me about the charges that your clients are facing. You're representing the 6 adults?
No. One of the adults is represented by the public defender's office. That's Mr. Margaret. I'm representing currently 4 of the other adults. And all the adults were arrested at a Black Lives or in the confines of a Black Lives Matter protest in March.
And what are the charges against them?
The adults are charged with primarily resisting arrest, assaulting a police officer, and 1 or 2 of them with obstructing a public right-of-way.
And
misdemeanors.
Are you representing the minors that are being charged?
No.
No.
The minors also have the same charges. Assaulting a police officer, resisting arrest, and I think at least 1 of them has a charge of blocking public walkway.
And who are the minors being represented by?
Conflicts counsel that were appointed by the court down in the juvenile court.
Can you tell us about the motion that you filed this morning?
It is a motion to recuse the district attorney's office and to ask that the attorney general step in place of the San Joaquin County district attorney's office. And it's based upon the fact that last October, the office of the district attorney participated in a very minimally inappropriate Halloween skit demeaning Black Lives Matter. It was at an office-wide party. I believe that it was open to all staff, and that you actually had deputy district attorneys participating in this skit. I think that the district attorney has acknowledged that the skit was inappropriate, but it's not clear that there was what action was taken and when the action was taken, or that there was even any response to the skit until after there was a community outcry over the inherent racism of that skit.
What do you think what do you think this says about the DA's ability to prosecute these cases?
Well, I think very basically what we're saying is the district attorney has exhibited a bias and a racism against Black Lives Matter, and as a result of that, it's really inappropriate for them to be prosecuting Black Lives Matter protesters. That as the district attorney, they are representing all of us. The court has very clearly said that even when they're prosecuting an individual as a defendant, they are still representing that defendant because they represent the people of the state of California. So we hold them in a high standard, and they have to be impartial. They can't be acting out of bias or racism or some kind of personal animosity.
You filed the motion this morning. What are the next steps?
The next step is on July 10th is the first hearing. The court has to determine whether or not there is a basis for the motion. If there is on the papers a basis to go forward, then the court is required to hold an evidentiary hearing, and that would be the next step. We submitted declarations from Ms. Dion Smith Downs, who is the mother of Mr. Rivera, who was shot and killed, a 16-year-old who was shot and killed in 2010, as well as another leader in the community named Moctezuma Sanchez, who had met with the district attorney at her request afterwards. And they both feel that the response by the district attorney's office was inadequate. And so there needs to be at least transparency from the district attorney's office as to who was involved in these skits, what actions were taken, what kind of training has she implemented, and what is she doing to make sure that this kind of institutional racism is eradicated and removed. Now, I know that Mr. Ralph White has called that those deputy district attorneys be terminated, and I don't believe that anybody's been terminated.
You represent 4 of the adults here. Should this motion be found to have basis, would the DA only be recused in the case against the adults? Will the lawyer for the 2 minors who are being charged, in similar actions against police officers in Black Lives Matter protests, will that lawyer be filing similar motions?
I don't know what those lawyers are doing. There are different standards of confidentiality in juvenile cases. But I would assume and I would expect that if the court here found that there was an inherent bias on part of the district attorney's office against Black Lives Matter protesters, that the DA should recuse the office from all prosecution of Black Lives Matter protesters.
What could this mean for cases that have already gone through the legal system?
I'm not sure what cases have gone through the legal system. My understanding is that despite the significant number of arrests by the Stockton police, there haven't been very many cases that have gone through the system. And what is interesting about these cases is that these cases were all filed after the skit. So to me, there is a bad symbiosis between the skit and the filing of these split cases.
Is there anything you'd like to add that we haven't covered?
I want to just say to people out there who are sensitive to Black Lives Matter that Black Lives Matter does not say that all lives don't matter. We value all lives. As a member of the National Lawyers Guild, we're here because in the past and historically, Black lives have not mattered. And I would not want any mother to be at the receiving end of a phone call that her child has been shot and killed, and that's what we're trying to prevent.
Do you think this case goes any further than just cases that involve Black Lives Matter?
You know, each of these cases is fact-driven. I would have to see the facts, but it's very clear in Stockton, and I'd like to see the data of the disproportionate number of arrests of Black people for similar offenses, as well as the conviction and harsher consequences. And I think that the statistics bear itself out.
Thank you.
Thank you.